This is a short story called Edo. It's a historical timepiece and work of fiction, focusing on catching a glimpse at the daily life in the old times of Japan. Edo. The autumnal moon waned into the day. Slowly a chill spread in a hush over the land. On the road, a spice merchant walked briskly as he approached the checkpoint. Fumbling through his sleeve, he found the pass with the daimyo's seal. Ravens overhead flapped through the trees of ginkgo that lined the outskirt of a local village. As the sun began to slumber, the spice merchant found a small ryoan. A day's walk had spent his energy. He wearily made his way to the light. Lanterns glowed dimly out over the small garden. A wooden plaque stood guard at the door, the characters burned onto it read open. The spice merchant gently peeled back the Norin curtain, and opened the latticed sliding door. Compared to the quiet outside, the inside was a bustle, but only a few tables of patrons. Folks who traveled the road, a few locals already far into their cups of sake. The hostess bustled over, kicking small plumes of dust from the floor as she made her way to the entrance. She was noticeably younger than most bartendresses once her face moved into the light. She saw the spice merchant to a table who bent like a man much older at the knees. He let the bench creak with his full weight, and took a deep breath in what felt like the first time since he began the day's journey on the Emperor's New Road. Glasses clinked and the smell of savory sweetness and charcoal made a must in the air. "Do you have olden?" "But of course, sir." She indicated the hastily scrawled hanging signs with what one would find in the pot. "May I have 2 of the fried fish cakes, steamed rice, and a small cup of the olden broth as well?" "Yes sir, I'll take 3 silver notes or the Tokugawa's coins for payment." The spice merchant shifted in his seat, glancing over the bench next to him. "So, one must pay in advance here?" "What do you mean? Ain't you got any fucking money? Whip it out or I'll whip you out." The man bowed his head in quick apology. He hadn't traveled to Edo before, and was unfamiliar with the customs. Fishing 3 coins of the old shogunate, he placed them on the table and sighed. "You gotta be fucking kidding me here. I mean, the coins are going out of style." He took a ledger from out one of his sleeves. "For God's sake, last time I had olden it was 1 silver and some copper bits." The tendress smiled sweetly. Crickets began their song in the thicket behind the inn. "Times are tough these days, even for Edo, good sir." "How true, these are trying times. May I have a small hot sake as well?" "Very good sir, 3 bits of copper or 3 5-yen coins." The spice merchant took out the bits. "Gods, fine, here take it but it's robbery." She swept the coins off the table, and made a medium bow, smiled, and she scuttled to the kitchen. The spice merchant's eyes adjusted now to the light. The locals at the long bar of lumber from the neighboring forest laughed, shouting for more sake. "I tell you, those Korean pop stars make me eyes go gaga and my pants go woo woo. I heard they eat really poorly though, like trash raccoons when their managers aren't watching." The tendress slipped out of the kitchen, cups of heated sake letting wisps into the air. "You mean tanuki, not raccoons," she chimed. "Yes, true. But still, it's all instant noodles and convenience store crap. Then they just don't eat the whole day before they go on the TV. Sad, but can't argue with the ratings, those agencies are making a fuck ton of cash." The tendress poured their sake for them, as was customary in Edo, surprising the spice merchant. "I thought there would be more travelers weary from the trades on the road, madam." She listened with a coy smile. "I suppose the fall of the samurai has put us on hard times. For the towns and villages I peddled my wares, it's true the children's clothes are stained. The faces of those I pass looked gaunt and weary. I'm sure the tax rate for the emperor has something to do with it." The TV's blared news no one really cared about, because this village was kind of a ghetto. The door slid open behind them, bringing in a chill. Travelers staying the night at the inn looked over in mild surprise. Making charcoal in the mountains, pulling gizzard shad and sweet fish from the streams. The man took a sip of sake, turning his lips bright pink. Jesus Christ, that is hot. Freaking good stuff though, madam. The spice merchant placed his glass back down. Guess the economy is just shit everywhere, huh? Suddenly, a hand appeared on the spice merchant's shoulder. The tendress looked uneasy and began to retreat slightly. She addressed the figure standing behind the spice merchant. I'm sorry, but can you not come in here with your freaking rifle? Super impolite. The merchant lifted his glass and took another sip. His expression remained unchanged. He replaced his glass on the table, his lips still wet and red from the heat. The hand on his shoulder strengthened its grip, and its owner spoke. I have every right to have a gun, the shogun said I could, haha nah, I even got a concealed carry permit. The merchant spoke up, don't be a dick, Larry, leave your gun at the door. Phil. Is that you? My favorite spice merchant. Good to see you again, Pedro. I spied you guarding the gate checkpoint. The guard put his JanSport and Bluetooth headphones on their table and sat. Other patrons sighed relief, not wanting a peaceful evening to be interrupted by some of the shogun's shit. Plus, a couple probably had a few 8-ball baggies on them. The scent of grilling fish now hung heavy in the air. But you were on your phone, so I figured I'd beat you here. I'm so dang tired, my guy. You're kind of a shitty travel merchant, with your habit of getting lost with the foxes in the mountain. And you're a shitty guard, not noticing who comes through your checkpoint. The merchant and guard shared the fish cakes and the warmth of the room settled in. Patrons at the bar cheered when the Rocket and Eagles baseball team highlights played on the TV. Let me buy you a drink, Phil. It looks like you need it more than me. They charge an arm and a leg here, let's go mess around in the arcade. Sure, Larry. By the way, you see Elon Musk smoked that blunt? How intriguing. The merchant took his rucksack from the bench, and bowed to the madam. Not my kind of spice. The two men laughed and did the floss dance out the sliding door, back into the lantern-lit streets of Edo.
Yep. Just like Edo. Just like Edo.